In order to get from Beijing to Hangzhou in the past, you'd have to travel along the Grand Canal. No one really travels like that nowadays, but people still come from far and wide just to experience a city that Marco Polo once considered the grandest and most splendid city in the entire world. Join us as we explore Hangzhou. Welcome to Travelogue. I'm Michelle Lin. Located in Zhejiang province and 180 kilometers southwest of Shanghai, Hangzhou was the capital of the Southern Song dynasty. Known for its spectacular scenery and the famous West Lake, it's also the origin of the longest man-made canal in the world, the Grand Canal, which was built in sections with work starting over 2,000 years ago. The 1,776-kilometer waterway was developed as a means of transportation, facilitating trade among the cities lying between Beijing and Hangzhou. You know, in the past, once you'd reached this bridge, you'd know that you had finally arrived in Hangzhou. And back there, that's Beijing, and it's a long way back. In the past, the Grand Canal connected China's southern cities with the north, linking the waterways of the Yangtze, Yellow, Huaihe, Haihe, and Qiantang rivers. Part of the canal is still in use today, but mostly for tourism purposes. If you come here, hire a traditional-looking boat to get a taste of the meals that were once served on the long boat journey. You know, back in the day, the Grand Canal was used for transport and travel, and so the area surrounding it was really bustling and lively. But nowadays, things are a little bit more laid back because it's not really used for much. So you'll find that it's a nice place to come and, you know, relax and just enjoy the serenity of the area. And one of the best places to get a little peace and quiet is the old streets along the canal. Some of the families have been living here for many generations. Some of the people have spent their whole lives here, beside the Grand Canal. Although there have been some renovations recently, you'll still find traces of the past, so it's an idyllic setting for wedding photos from a bygone era. By the Grand Canal, you'll find 3 museums that feature a collection of what you'd think are very ordinary household items, but scissors, fans, and umbrellas have a long history in both Hangzhou and China. So it's a good place to come to learn a little bit more about its cultural significance. When people come to Hangzhou, they usually bring back a pair of scissors for their family and friends. It does sound a little weird, but it's only because there's a really famous brand here called HANGZHOU Ⅱ. It started as a small workshop, and now it's one of the most famous brands in China. HANGZHOU Ⅱ has been part of Chinese culture for over 300 years. Its founder used the techniques of Zhejiang Longquan sword making to produce his scissors, which are inlaid with steel. The scissors were so popular that they were even used at court in Emperor Qianlong's time. Fit for an emperor, no less. The 3 museums located in the Canal Culture Square are interlinked, so it's easy to walk between the exhibitions and discover more about 3 of Hangzhou's most renowned handicrafts: HANGZHOU Ⅱ scissors, Wang Xingji fans, and Westlake silk umbrellas. You'll be able to find traditional oil paper umbrellas in various parts of China. But if you come here, you'll be able to see the different designs and styles without having to travel all that far. Paper and silk umbrellas have a long history in China. In Hangzhou, the best known are the Westlake silk umbrellas made with a bamboo shaft and silk body, embroidered, painted, and dyed with either the 10 famous sites of Westlake or flowers. From the umbrella exhibition, I move on to the Museum of Fans, one of the 3 treasures of Hangzhou, along with Longjing tea and silk. The most famous brand in town is Wang Xinji, the company that for over 100 years has been known for its black paper and sandalwood fans. In fact, you'll find on display here various styles of fans, from ancient and traditional to modern, made from a wide range of materials. My favorite is the interactive feature that allowed me to show off my fan using techniques. Visiting 3 museums in half a day is quite a feat, so I think I deserve a break. Hangzhou is famous for its tea houses, but what I need is a much stronger caffeine boost. So I decide to check out Me Too Cafe on Jinhua Road. If you're looking for a decent cup of coffee, I definitely recommend Me Too Cafe. It's a place that was started by artists for other creative minds and people who just enjoy art in an abandoned soap factory. And if you come here, you'll still see some of its old fittings, such as what used to be the air conditioner back in the day. During the day, the cafe is a haunt for those seeking a comfortable place to work or just hang out, made more appealing by its free Wi-Fi. They serve illy coffee, so you don't have to worry about a watered-down concoction. Here's the tip. They also have live performances at night several times a week when you can check out the local music scene. From Me Too Cafe, I head to the artist area of Loft 49. It's named after its location at number 49 Hangyin Road, and the loft spaces, once old factories and warehouses in the 1980s, but now studios for the 21 or so art companies located here. I decide to pay a visit to the office of the 3 top interior designers in Hangzhou, Shenlei, Sun Yun, and Yao Lu.
你最喜欢的地方在杭州是在哪儿？
西湖，我每次经过西湖的时候，是开车去绕一圈，然后获得一个很好的感受。杭州它有很好的那种独立性，不同于上海和北京，它会受外来的影响会太多。杭州给我的一个整体的一个感觉，设计和生活是联系在一起的。在杭州的地方，我们待得很自在，然后我们会不断会有自己相对来讲是属于自己的想法。
你们有很多游客来这吗？
对，因为这条旅游线是从运河带过来的，我们这边都还很自由，就比如说你要参观就可以参观，只要不妨碍我们就可以了。
After speaking to Shenlei, Sun Yun gives me a tour of the furniture line he's developing in his spare time. It's not for retail sale at the moment, but it is open to public view.
这个我给了有一个名字 ，fellowship。
你看到这个 ring 是吗
？fellowship。它是一个椅子的 fellowship， 但也是象征着人的关系。
OK。
说这个箱子它是一个 antique，然后把它改造成给它一个新的功能，就是说我们可以把它变成一个可以活动的一个小的 office。像那些是鱼群，我去泰国旅行的时候会去潜水，然后潜水的时候我们会看到很多鱼群，然后我就在想这些鱼群怎么样变成我桌子上的食物，不是怎么变成椅子。
The worst thing about seeing Sun Yun's furniture is knowing that I won't be able to take any of it home.
This here was once the Imperial Street during the Southern Song Dynasty over 800 years ago. Back there, that's where the palace was, and right in front of me, that was the drum tower. And nowadays, the locals still use this street and go about their daily lives here. So it's a good place to come to get a taste of Hangzhou's history and its modern life. Oh, for example, like this. Wow. awesome. I mean, how often do you get to see people carrying out birds like luggage?
The imperial street of the Southern Song dynasty, otherwise known as Zhongshan Street, was the north-south axis of the ancient Southern Song capital, when the city was called Lin'an. In recent years, it's been refurbished and is now a shopping and tourist area where visitors can experience the street's heyday. Look out for remnants of Western and Chinese architecture left over from the past and the famous traditional Hangzhou brands of clothing and household items.
This is a really old brand, but you'll find it in new designs.
After a bout of window shopping, I take a walk along Zhongshan Street, taking in the recreated street scene of the Southern Song dynasty and the architecture. I find many traditional Chinese medicine shops and make my way over to one of the most renowned, HANGZHOU Ⅱ.
This here was the largest traditional Chinese medicine shop in Hangzhou during the Qing dynasty, and it's still the largest one today. So if you're not ill, you can come here because there's a museum now where you can learn more about traditional Chinese medicine. I was told that these plaques here actually list out certain kinds of medicines and what they're good for. But if you can't read Chinese, that's okay. I'm sure you'll find somebody who's nice enough to, let you know what it says.
Founded by the successful Anhui businessman and Qing dynasty official Hu Shuiyuan in 1878, HANGZHOU Ⅱ has been the largest and most famous traditional Chinese medicine clinic and pharmacy in Zhejiang ever since. And for good reason, as Mr. Hu's business motto was to purchase genuine medicinal materials, to prepare the medicines carefully and conscientiously, and never try to profit with poor quality products. It's no wonder people still come to such a trustworthy establishment to find a cure for their ailments. In the past, you'd be able to reach the Xixi wetlands by river. That's no longer possible, though it didn't deter me from making my way there. Once a fishing village, the Xixi wetlands is now a national park.
Man, this stuff is really heavy. I really feel sorry for the people back in the old days. Back then, though, the waterways were a really important part of their daily lives, so you'd find a lot of activity around. Nowadays, if you come here, you can experience what it was like back then. You can go fishing, pick some fruit. About to do that, so let's go. It's so nice to be out in the sun and so close to nature. And the good thing about the Xixi Wetland Park is that it's a really nice urban retreat because it's only about 30 minutes away from the Hangzhou city center.
Hiring a boat and fishing is pretty pricey here, but well worth it in my opinion. I suggest you reserve tickets to come to this ecological wonderland because only 3,000 visitors are allowed in each day. The restriction is necessary to protect the environment. If you catch a fish, you can take it down to the restaurant and they'll cook it for you for free of charge. Otherwise, you can just kick back and enjoy some organic fruit.
Okay, so I guess this fishing... Ooh, it's soft, just the way I like it. This fishing net has more uses than just catching fish. Fresh from the tree. It's very good. It's really sweet and juicy. Wow, look at that. You need these for a couple of days at least. If not, I'm going to take it to the market and sell them. Do I look like a fruit seller? Yeah, it's heavy for him. I better help him take it out.
Waiting a while, but I suppose even the most experienced fishermen have bad days. Sometimes it's not a matter of skill, but luck. Oh, luck! It's not very big though. It's not quite the 15-kilogram fish I was expecting. Oh. Oh, I almost feel sorry for it. But we caught a fish, so that's lunch. Now an accomplished fisherman, I travel along the Qiantang River in Hangzhou to where it becomes the Fuyang River in the neighboring coastal city of Fuyang, which is actually considered a part of Hangzhou. But I'm not here for the fishing. I'm here for something that, so I've been promised, will soar beyond my expectations. And soon I find out exactly what. We arrive on what appears to be a flat, grassy surface on the top of a hill to find paragliders preparing for takeoff. I'm quite anxious as I wait to go up in the air, but eventually I'm told that my instructor has been called away to another city. Well, that's burst my bubble.
It's such a pity the instructor isn't here today, or else I would be off into the air like they are. In Fuyang County, although there's not many tourist sites here, people come here to paraglide off the mountain because it's got the perfect conditions for it. I'm so sad. I wish I could go too.
Most visitors to Hangzhou normally bypass Fuyang. It's a place where people come only when they have something specific in mind. And when that something is to soar through the air, it's a pretty good one. Paragliding is not a sport for the faint-hearted, and if you're keen, make sure you double confirm your appointment with an instructor.
哎，你飞了多长时间？
飞了滑翔伞是1年，
很容易学吗？
炸机18年，有人最多飞过7次，啊，一天飞过7次，但他们多的飞了将近20次。 从早上飞到晚上，哇这些人都是全国各地来的，来了以后就想飞。
我觉得挺好玩的，
是好玩。哎呀，你昨天来就好，昨天来光外国人就有10多个。哎，世界各地来的。
但是他们怎么听到有这样的地方可能？
我们专门有这样的网站，滑翔中国。凭我这个多年的飞行经历，我知道这个场地适合滑翔伞的运动。
听他的 ，listen to him。
只有飞滑翔伞，你才能体会到像鸟一样的飞行。光亮了，可以准备起飞。
对呀。Hey, good luck! Woo! Good and fine. He really looks like a turtle that's flying in the air. 老飞，
老飞回答，
飞得怎么样？
非常好。
Hongliu tells me there's a quaint village nearby where some of the families have been living for 65 generations or more. I did a quick check and it wasn't listed in any guidebook, so I had to go.
In the Fuyang County along the Fuchun River, you'll find a town called Longmen, and it has over 1,000 years of history. So if you come here, because it's so well maintained, you can still find structures and buildings that date back over 1,000 years from the Ming and Qing dynasties. Ooh, and obviously people come here to paint as well.
The students tell me they're from a local college and have come to paint their personal impressions of the buildings here. Fuchun was the hometown of the Wu Dynasty Emperor Sun Quan, and many of his descendants still live here today. And it's no wonder why. It's a beautiful town where you'll see architecture left over from the past, the ideal setting of any period film.
有很多册，也是整个龙门阵的那个孙姓在里面的。
哦，你也姓孙吗？
是的。
哦，我听说在龙门有95%哦，是孙的啊。你名字在里面吗？
我有的，我可以找得出来。
你找得出来？
可以。
这个记得多少年了
？1000多年吧。
Oh wow. Their family trees have been recorded for over 1,000 years. That's how they know that they're all descendants from Sun Quan.
这就是我的名字。
哦，你有女儿了？
是的。
哎。
这是我的几个那个姐姐跟兄弟，这是我爸爸，这是我二叔，这是我小叔，这是我爷爷。
Mr. Sun tells me that people from all over the world with the same family name come here to try to find their ancestors and their roots, and they add their names to the record. This is how such a detailed family tree has been compiled. But surely all these people can't be heading to the same place just to find their heritage. There must be more here than meets the eye. So I meander through the streets to find out what's happening.
Every year, there's this 3-day festival at Loman Village, and it's paid for by the people who are turning 30 years old. The crowd is great. You know, they invite all their friends and family members to come join in the festivities. There are operas and games and food, and it's just really fun.
The seats are filled, and yet people don't seem to mind standing on the sidelines as they pour in late for the start of the opera. It's time to celebrate, and in line with Chinese hospitality, it's a case of the more the merrier. It seems the invitations are sent by word of mouth, so the residents never know how many guests to expect. And while that may faze most party planners, the villagers have long learned to cope.
Whew. Gotta watch out, the street's really narrow. So you know you're in a small village? This is proof down there.
I've heard that you can walk into any home tonight and you'll be invited to stay for dinner.
Oh, so good. 今天晚上有多少人来你家
？5、6桌客人。
5、6个。
5、6桌。
5、6桌。Wow.
60个人。
Oh, that's 5 or 6 tables. That's about 50 or 60 people usually.
In most villages in China, the young and able will leave for the big cities to seek their fortune. So you'll often find a high proportion of elderly residents.
That's so cute.
Surprisingly, though, this isn't the case in Longmen.
Like her baby brother.
Instead, it's common to find several generations living under the same roof. I guess it's because people just don't want to leave. I didn't get to stay too long, but if you go, do stay and let me know how great it was. I've noticed that people in Hangzhou place a lot of importance on a leisurely lifestyle, regardless of where they may be living. Now, I'm told that in town, there's a resort that a few years back had the distinction of being named one of the best new hotels in the world. It has grounds that are inspired by the famous 700-year-old painting Dwelling in the Fuchun Mountains by Huang Gongwang, a Yuan dynasty painter.
I figured I'd pamper myself a little by checking into the Fuchun Resort. But aside from just some relaxation time and getting some treatments by the lakeside, what I'm really here for, well, is this. The golf.
Nestled among tea plantations, you'll find an 18-hole golf course that will challenge any player, regardless of their handicap. It's currently one of the best golf courses in China and will give any international course a run for its money. In the area surrounding the golf course, you'll find fruit trees and organic produce growing, which will eventually land on the plates of the guests.
Right, time to give Tiger Woods a run for his money. I'm going to show you my perfect form. Let's go. Okay, truth be told, I can't play to save my life, but it's still nice to be out, you know, on a sunny day on a golf course that's surrounded by tea plantations. Now, I've got to go look for my instructor. Where's he gone? William! Where are you? Right. Okay. I think I got it. Okay, I think I've finally gotten it, so I'm going to show you. Now, all I need is a real ball. It's a short hit. Woohoo! Not too bad.
Why, thank you. Many of my friends have caught the golf bug recently, and now I understand why. It's incredibly therapeutic, but if it's not your thing, you can always just kick back and enjoy whatever comes. That's the way it's done around here.
You know, I think that Hangzhou is a place where you can really enjoy a leisurely lifestyle. It's a place where you balance work and play equally. And I think it's more than just, you know, sipping a cup of Longjing tea or taking a walk around the West Lake. It's in the air. It comes from the beautiful amanthus trees that you'll find everywhere in Hangzhou. I love Hangzhou in autumn, and I think you will too. Thanks for watching Travelogue. I'm Michelle Lin. I'll see you next time. But in the meantime, keep those bags packed.